Success is not a random accident. It is not something that just happens to a lucky few while the rest of us watch from the sidelines. True, lasting success is the result of a specific, repeatable process. If you look at the most elite performers in the world, the top athletes, the visionary CEOs, and the most influential leaders, you will find that they all share a common ritual. They don't just drift into sleep at the end of the day. They engage in a deliberate mental exercise that separates them from the masses. There are two simple questions serious winners ask themselves every single night before their heads hit the pillow. These questions are the foundation of a purpose-driven life. They are the keys to a growth mindset and the primary tools used by those who know how to become successful. Tonight, we are going to break down these two questions so you can start using them to change your life. The first question you must ask yourself every night is, what did I do well today? At first glance, this might seem like a simple exercise in positive thinking, but it goes much deeper than that. This question forces you to identify at least one specific achievement from your day, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant it might feel. Maybe you chose a salad over a burger, or you finally took that 30-minute walk you've been putting off. Perhaps you spent 15 minutes reading a good book instead of scrolling through social media. By asking what you did well, you are bringing a win to the surface. You are providing yourself with undeniable proof that you are capable and effective. Think of your mind like a courtroom. If you stand up and claim you are a winner but have no evidence, the jury will never believe you. But when you can point to a specific action, a real-world event that actually happened, it's like presenting a piece of physical evidence in a court of law. One is a vague wish. The other is a documented fact. Having actual evidence to support your self-image is infinitely more powerful than just telling yourself generic affirmations. To understand why this works, you have to understand the mind's primary role. Your brain is not naturally wired to make you successful. It is wired to keep you alive. It is a self-protection mechanism. From an evolutionary standpoint, your mind is constantly scanning the horizon for potential issues, threats, and dangers because it wants to protect you from harm. This is normal. It is your brain doing its job. However, the problem is that if you listen to that protective voice all the time, you will never take the risks necessary to grow. You will find yourself shrinking into nothing just to avoid being hurt or failing. When you consciously ask yourself what you did well, you are training your brain to look away from threats and toward optimism. You are not ignoring reality. You are choosing which part of reality to focus on. This is where the effect of repetition becomes life-changing. Each time you practice this nightly review, it is like changing a single bit of code in a massive computer software program. On day one, you might not notice a difference, but if you do this every single day, that is 365 bits of new, positive information entering your subconscious every year. Over time, this consistent input completely rearranges your internal conditioning. You start to realize that winning is not normal for the average human being. We aren't biologically wired for success. We are wired for survival, procreation, connection, and collaboration. To become a winner, you have to intentionally shift that wiring. Asking this first question is one of the most effective winning habits you can adopt because it systematically replaces your survival-based fear with a success-based identity. As you begin to see a win every day, your self-image starts to transform. The subconscious mind is fascinating because it doesn't distinguish between a small win and a big win. It only sees the win signal. Whether you closed $1 million deal or simply made your bed the moment you woke up, your subconscious registers the same message. I am a person who follows through. Repetition is what drives this transformation. Daily recognition of your progress is much more effective than occasional grand gestures. It's exactly like physical fitness. Training for 30 minutes every single day will always yield better results than training for 12 hours once a week. You are building a mental muscle, and that muscle grows through the daily routine of self-acknowledgement. Once you have identified your win, it is time for the second question. What can I improve? This is where you move from reflection into the realm of the unknown. This question forces you to use your imagination, which Albert Einstein famously called the strongest force in the universe. While the first question provides the evidence of who you are, the second question reveals the potential of who you could become. It taps into the unseen possibilities of your life. When you ask yourself what can be improved, you are essentially acting as your own high-level coach. Most people in the world don't actually think, they simply have mental activity. Mental activity is just the process of moving existing knowledge around in circles. It's a loop of what you already know. True thinking, however, is different. Real thinking brings in information from outside what you currently hold. It requires you to step outside your own mind and access insights that aren't normally available through your five senses. When you use your imagination to answer the question of improvement, you are not limited to what your eyes and ears have gathered throughout the day. You are looking for a better version of the actions you took. This is how you self-coach. You analyze your performance and imagine a more efficient, more powerful, or more graceful way to handle the same situation tomorrow. To make this effective, you must tie these questions directly to your specific goals and objectives. If your purpose-driven goal is to lose weight, then acknowledging a 30-minute walk is a highly relevant win. If your goal is to build a business, then acknowledging a difficult sales call is your win. Always focus on the wins and improvements that align with what is truly important for you. This keeps your focus sharp and prevents you from getting distracted by trivialities. The secret ingredient that makes this entire process work is emotion. You have to feel the pride in your wins. Emotion increases the intensity of the mental recording. Think of it this way: words are energy, and music is energy. But if you listen to your favorite song at a very low volume, you don't feel the impact. Words without emotion are like that silent song. When you identify what you did well, allow yourself to actually feel the satisfaction of that achievement. Let that feeling of pride wash over you. This emotional charge locks the memory into your subconscious and makes the evidence of your success undeniable. To implement this tonight, start a daily habit of journaling these two questions. Every evening, write down the questions and your best answers based on your main objective. Write down your best win and your imagined improvement. Keep the entire process positive. This is a crucial detail. Do not frame your answers in the negative. For example, do not say, "I didn't eat sugar today." Instead say, "I ate healthy today." The reason for this is that words are energy, and your negative mind is already looking for pitfalls to avoid. If you focus on the sugar you didn't eat, your mind is still focused on the sugar. If you focus on eating healthy, your mind is focused on the vibrant, positive action. By following this simple nightly routine, you are taking control of your evolution. You are no longer a victim of your biological survival instincts. You are becoming a person who intentionally designs their own life through the power of a growth mindset. You are training yourself to see the evidence of your greatness while simultaneously using your imagination to pull yourself toward an even better version of tomorrow. This is how you change your life. It isn't through one big lucky break, but through the discipline of asking these two questions every single night. Start tonight. Identify your win, imagine your improvement, feel the pride, and watch as you transform into the winner you were always meant to be. The journey to the top begins with the questions you ask in the dark. Be consistent, stay positive, and let your imagination lead the way to your ultimate success.